Okay, I'm trying this video again for the third time. Um, Hopefully it's recording to my SD card and won't cut off again. Um, what's up? It's been a minute. Um, a lot has happened in a short amount of time. A whole lot. But I want to talk about why I really haven't made any videos in a minute and what I've been going through in brief. I want to talk about the spirit of suicide. And I identify it as a spirit, like on a vibration or something, for a reason. And I'm going to say that because when I first thought about it, I was 13 years old. I would have to say I started dealing with depression as young as 11. And it just got worse. So by the time I was 13, I was already thinking, like, there's nothing to life. Like, this shit is for the birds. I already started thinking that. And I just got worse, more depressed, more pessimistic, more bleak, more sad. Because the sadness is just overwhelming, And so I feel like that's always a turning point for me, is the sadness. Not necessarily feeling depressed, not necessarily feeling low and like in a low mood or whatever. It's always the sadness that gets me. Anyway, I had my first suicide attempt when I was 16. And at that time, my depression was getting worse. And, one of the school counselors was just like, she needs to see a professional. Like, I don't see any improvement with her. And part of the problem, obviously, was not, I didn't feel like within my control. I didn't feel like there was anything I can control about my environment, obviously. And, when they make these judgments in school, they recognize and realize it has a lot to do with your home life or whatever, but how do you tell somebody's parents, like, you're fucking your child up, Freaking. So they put me on this medication, and I didn't feel like the medication was helping, and I felt like, the doctor, that particular counselor and the doctor were all like, once you start taking it after a couple weeks, you'll see a difference. And I did not see a difference. And there was 2 different medications, and I was taking them. At first, my mom was administering to me, and then she was like, well, you can do it yourself. And that was a mistake because I was mentally unstable. And when I felt like it wasn't working, I took the entire bottle of one of them. There were 2 different ones. I took all the rest of one of them. So a good couple weeks supply, I took all of it. And I sat there for a minute, and then nothing happened. So I was like, this stuff doesn't even do anything. And I was just like, whatever. And guess I'll get ready for school. And my sister and I, we both had to catch the same bus. And so she was in there in the bathroom, and I was brushing my teeth, and I started getting undressed to get in the shower. And I thought that it felt like as if I reached to take my shirt off, and I just, boom, hit the floor. That's all I remember. I could hear her screaming. I could hear her running out the bathroom for help. And that was about it. That's all I really remember. And my mom really covered it up. I remember waking up in the hospital. I remember them asking me why I did it. And they tried to say that, like, maybe it's not for minors. because they didn't have any tests for minors, and they felt like it was the medication that made me do that. But I told them I wanted to do that, and I've been wanting to do that like for a long time, and nobody's listening to me. But no one continued to listen to me. However, I felt better, and that's why I call it a spirit. Like, I feel like it's kind of like how people say lust is a spirit. It's a feeling that you have when you really, really, really want to have sex, but you don't do it, and you hold back and you hold back. And then it's like when you finally go get some, you go wild, and then you just like, oh, I feel better. It's like that. Once I made an attempt, I felt better. And that feeling has always lingered around me. Wanting to kill myself, wanting to get out of this planet, more than anything, get out of this body, always lingers around me. It doesn't go away. It is a spirit. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's just comforting to even think about it, to even think about like not being here, to be free of this, because especially as a teenager, when I did that, it was a fucking prison. My life was a prison. Go to school and go to work and hand your money over, and you can't hang out with anybody, and you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything unless I say so. That's a fucking prison. I was ready to get the fuck out of here. I knew exactly why I did it. But, fast forward a few more years, and I was ready to hit the fan if I didn't see anything good in my life. You know what I mean? And I had it planned out that if I'm not dead naturally by 25, if I don't naturally die by my 25th birthday, then I am going to cross the street very simply and walk out in that water and see y'all on the other side. Like, that's what I was living across the beach at the time. That's why I said that. I was living like a block away. I was going to walk my ass out that door and good riddance. But there's always something that changes. Things change. And somebody's always stopping me, goddammit. And so recently I got that idea in my mind again. And it was really based on the fact that I was in an incredible amount of pain all the time with no answers. No doctor could really tell me what was really wrong and why I was feeling so much pain. And I'd be like, I'm about to die from this pain on the right side. It feels like my ovary's going to burst open. And they're like, oh, there's nothing on that ovary. What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of shit that makes you want to die, because what are y'all looking at? You know what I mean? And why am I feeling this? Like, I couldn't sleep at night. I was in so much pain all the time. And I'm fasting. If y'all heard my stomach right now, it was loud as hell. But I was just in trouble. I was going downwards. The more, like, from the time, I think I made a video about, from the time that I had the blood clots, it was just like a downward spiral. Like, everything was going wrong in my body. Everything. And it took a lot of energy, and I had no support in my life, no nothing. And I did, once again, begin to feel like I am living in this jail of go to work, take a whole bunch of stuff so that I can get through work, go to work, deal with other people's bullshit, and do things that I don't feel like are any benefit to me. You know what I mean? And then go back home and pretend to not suffer. Like, it was just, I felt like my life is a prison, and I felt like, even more importantly, that my body was a prison, and if no one can help me figure out this prison. And I was taking herbs and trying to go about it in alternative ways, and it was just not happening. And it got to the point that I really had no one to talk to, and I called the suicide hotline, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And they listened to me, and I felt like maybe that helped, but I more importantly felt like, no, I'm about to plan this shit out so that when I die, nobody's going to come back and try to resuscitate me or something. I got to plan out something and plan it well. And so that was, that was my mindset. And lo and behold, I've been rescued again. My daughter, I had a dream that it was like I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, and I rolled over. And when I rolled over, she was there and she was laying next to me and she had this serious look on her face. And I was like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, you're what's wrong with me. And she was like, you're not making me proud. You told me that you would do something that makes me proud to have you as a mother or whatever. And she was like, but you're not making me proud. And she's like, don't you see that you're living in your own jail? You create this jail. Get out of it. You're the one with the lock and the key. And I was just like, what are you even talking about? Like, if I don't go to work, then I don't eat. If I don't eat, then I'm going to die. So what's the difference? Might as well die now. And she was just like, listen to yourself. Like, you're not making any sense. You are in control of the situation. And she's like, if you don't like your situation, then you change it. But don't ask me to understand your life when I know you differently. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And, she started talking to me. That was one of the major things that she said to me, like, you're putting yourself in that prison. But secondly, she started talking to me about dimensions and us being multidimensional beings. And she's like, you have other versions of yourself that are living in these mental prisons, and some of those prisons are good ones. And she's like, in some of those lives, you're enjoying a very good life, and we live together and we're alive. Like, neither we are not separated and all this other kind of stuff. And she started telling me these different versions, which I'm not going to get into. And she's like, so that's why I know that you can do better. I know that you can be better if you just unlock yourself out of that jail of survivalism, because it's a jail. And she's like, you feel like as if death is your friend when you have work to do. Like, it's not fair for other people. It's not fair for yourself. It's not fair for everyone else that you will affect now and in the future. And then she was just like, bye. Going to school. Bye. And then I woke up and I knew that I had to do something different. And so instead of planning my death, I planned to move. And that's what I did. I dropped my job. I dropped my boyfriend. I dropped everything. And I left. And I don't really know where I'm going right now. I mean, I'm staying with family right now and they're getting on my fucking nerves. But it's really making me put some things in perspective and really see that I went from one mental prison to putting myself into another, which was to survive, to doing whatever to survive in. And it is what it is. We do what we need to do to survive and everything. But I can't live like that anymore. It's literally killing me. And let me tell y'all that within a week of being here, I'm absolutely pain-free. I'm not going to cry, but I'm absolutely pain-free. I have been sleeping all night. I have been going to the bathroom like a normal human being. And I've not put that much effort to it. I'm not even eating that great because these people eat junk. And food is free here. So you know what that is. But I'm feeling absolutely normal. And I realize now that my body was just literally putting me through pain to tell me to get out, to tell me to stop living that way. Thank you very much, Saturn retrograde. Ugh. And things are different and new things are coming. But I just wanted to talk about that, like that being a spirit. And I just wonder if other people, I just wonder if other people have gone through that or felt like as if sometimes we don't have options, like as if this is what it is and you just want to get out of it. Like sometimes I think like we get caught up in the roles that we play, and it's just a role. Like you can quit the play, you can stop, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. And that's what I did. I stopped that particular role of surviving. And now that I have all of this free time because I have no job, I am working on a book that I started forever ago. It's embarrassing how long ago, but it's coming to me very clearly, and I'm working on that and helping my sister start her business and helping out, of course, with plenty of other things around here. But just the fact that within a week's time, all of these things that were driving me nuts about my body are just gone like magic. Y'all have a good one.